So off camera I installed the oil cooler. Nothing really big about this. I just cleaned the backside from the rust with my trustable sandpaper, and I installed a new o-ring because the old o-ring from all the heat was too brittle, so I ordered one from Prime Driven. So you can find all these parts, almost all of them, excuse me, in Prime Driven, at Prime Driven. So just check their inventory and just torqued it down. This is 44 foot-pounds, and these are the coolant lines right there. So this one is connected by the lovely hose from hell on earth. Of course, it's not its name, it's a water bypass hose, but people have lovingly named it hose from hell on earth because this is extremely hard to reach when the turbocharger and the exhaust manifold is in place. So I strongly recommend you change these while you're tackling this engine rebuild process. Don't cheap out on these stuff, because usually what happens is these hoses get brittle over time, and it's not a major failure that really makes you regret your decisions. It's these kind of failures that make you regret your decisions. So this one gets attached here, and there is another one. This is the hose from hell, and that gets attached here to the coolant bypass line, which we will install later. So let's put this guy in. I'm gonna make sure these guys are clean. And the static noise in the background is from my heater. So tilt my head. There it is. So I can work in the garage in the winter time. And this puppy does a good job of heating this place up. It's a 220 volt, so none of those measly 110s out there. I originally had this plug installed for compressor purposes, but it comes in handy with heaters like this. That's the water pump. Put it here. I would like to think these guys fit here, which they should. Perfect. Because this is usually a struggle, trying to put these in place. While trying to squeeze this guy in place. I'm gonna leave it hang. Imagine you're trying to do this with everything in the way. So, you know what? I'm gonna even let this go for now. There. So that's the first part. Right. I can even take it one step further, put it here for now. Okay, putting it all the way in is not an easy job. Of course, now I might be facing another issue, which is getting this guy hop over here. Right. Because why not? Why not? Now, if this were in the way, it wouldn't be easy to put this all the way through without this getting in my hand. Now it's making life hard as I'm trying to push it through this loop or that bend. There. Now which I think if I need to change it later for some odd reason, downwards looking tabs are easier to take out from under the engine. So I'm gonna position it there. Also downwards looking. So again, for some odd reason, if you need to take it off, at least you have access from underneath the engine, even though it's an arduous task no matter how you look at it. So it won't be a fun day if you need to take this out, is all I'm saying. Okay, that was a workout. Now this place I cleaned before. That's the water pump entry into the engine. That is my water pump. That's the water pump housing, which I have also cleaned. All I'm gonna do is change this O-ring with a new one, which I also acquired from Prime Driven. This is the gasket set. So this gasket goes to the exit side right here, and this O-ring replaces this O-ring. This wasn't in such a bad shape to begin with, but you know, if you can find an O-ring which are cheap, why do you take a chance? So a new one goes in. Now this is where one of the lines of the bypass holes comes into place. So it's a good idea to clean it. I don't want to use sandpaper because all the dirt will be collected inside. Old gasket out. Wow, okay. There isn't much gasketing left on it. Now this will require some help from the sandpaper guy. So let's plug this hole. I will call that good enough. Let's give it a healthy dose of brake cleaner. I used this once to really clean brakes. Other than that, has been all this other stuff. Now if you are crazy about your engine's looks, you can go haywire and clean all the oxidation on the aluminum surface, but I'm not gonna go there. It's just gonna get dirty looking anyways again. This is the new bypass tube because, or pipe as they call it here, the one that came with the engine is right here, which has a 90-degree bend right over there, which is not something you want. So I had to order this. I found it from a Japanese parts dealer. It's called Amayama or Amayama or however you wanna spell it. I'm gonna put the link in the description if I don't forget. Okay, now the manual suggests spraying soapy water right here before we insert this, so I'm just gonna do that, and then we'll put this guy right there, bolt it down, and it will be ready. Okay, now I gotta move a little fast because I just put soapy water there, which I don't want disappearing. So here is the new gasket. This side used to be facing the back, that is the groove side. So the groove side, so it goes on like so. And there it goes. Now comes the fun part. Soapy water here, so it will slide in a little easier, I hope. And the O-ring will stay in place. Okay, wish I can see better. Yes, there. It did go in. Okay, now all is left is to torque this. Wow, 9 foot-pounds, really? Okay, that's more than I expected. There's 9. There's the other 9. Okay, so that one is good to go. Yeah, that is better-ish, sort of better. There is that. And there's that. Okay, so for some reason they filed off the names from here and here. It will say Toyota here and Aisin or something here. I don't know the reason. As long as it works, I don't care. Last time I bent this gasket, so I don't want to repeat the same mistake. Goes on like so. And this goes on like so. So let's put this here, that there, this here, and that there. Now I need to get this one. The original screw that went in here, which was a Phillips head, got destroyed while I was trying to take it out. So I got a hex head to replace those, or that only, not those. If only I can find it. Okay, there it is. This is an M6 by 1, in case you had the same snafu as I did. The reason I'm using a hex head, and this is following Bob Phams, who is another MR2 guy, recommendation, so you cannot strip it again, because the Phillips head gets to strip very easily. There is the hex. It says 82. Right now we are at what? That is 50, 60, 65, 70. And that's 80, 81, 82. It is only for this guy. $82. It's 82. 82. That guy. We'll handle that later. These three are 69. Dial back 80, 75, 70, right? And then that's 69. And those are the 69ers. And that's 82. Now, to finalize this portion, we will install the hose from hell. And you can see why. It's already in an awkward position. So, would have been a good idea had I put it in first, maybe. I don't know. That guy is here. It has heat shielding on it because it's right behind the exhaust. The good thing is it comes pre-clamped, so you don't have to worry about that part, at least, thank goodness. When you're done, you just take these off and the clamps shut. That is good. Well, Scheiße. Right, how do we go about this one? Because ideally you want this part facing the exhaust, not this part, although I mean, it has exposed pieces here, so you don't want this melting, so it has to face like this guy. Okay, we kind of messed up here. Right. So I could try this all I want and give myself all sorts of pain and agony. That's not gonna help anything. So what we'll end up doing is take this out, put this in, and then jam this back in there. And that's why this is called hose from hell. Now you'll see. Of course, now all this installation has been for naught, at least for me, but I'm not gonna reinstall it for you guys because in principle it's the same thing. So we will go ahead and remove this back, put this guy in, and I'm gonna install this part later. Sweet, sweet. At least now I don't need to take these bolts off. Alright. I think the best solution is take this guy completely off. Put this dude right in there. That. The heat shield. Okay. Now is the tricky part where these two need to mate. Could have been much easier had I done this the correct way the first time, although there may not be a correct way for this. This explains again why this is called the hose from hell. I'm already hating this. Finally, I was able to get everything in place. It wasn't easy and I couldn't have done it with a camera strapped to my head. So to run you down the process, I took down this portion where the head meets the water. I don't know what this thing is called, but it is this thing right here. So I took this out to give me some more clearance with this water bypass pipe. I need to send this away to be modified anyways for it to be a top loader, because this engine is going in the rear, not on the front as it was designed to be in the Caldina. But that came out, these came out, and so the other thing I had to do was take the oil cooler out. So I took the oil cooler out. That gave me some wiggle room because this one is really tight and it doesn't like to bend much, especially with the heat shield on it. So what I ended up doing is take the oil cooler off, let it dangle by the hose from hell on earth right here, and then I slide the end of the water bypass into the hose from hell, like in this position right here, and clamped it. The clamps are in the rear to make matters worse, but they can't be on the front because they expose the rubber anyways. So after I got this in, I bent this back while carefully putting the gasket behind here, the O-ring gasket. So put it in place, lock, and then tighten these 3 bolts so we can change the thermostat. There. Huh, there is no gasket. Okay. Interesting. Maybe the thermostat is the gasket at the same time. That also doesn't want to come out. There. It did get stuck there. I'm pretty sure this just works fine, but we don't want to do this over and over, so here is the new one. Gasket goes around. It's nice that they have this bleeder. Embedded onto it. Most don't come with a hole like that. So to bleed the system you need to wait for the thermostat to open. This little bleeder helps, definitely. Okay. So this is supposed to open at 82 degrees Celsius based on the stamp. I'm just gonna clean this surface up. So goes on this side first. Carefully. Insert into position. £69" this one too. Come on, £69", and this is not gonna leak. There is your 69" and the new thermostat. And that concludes our rather painful, but not depressing at least, water pump and water bypass valve, as well as the hoses from Hell and Hell on Earth installation. Next up, with the water pump installed, I will be moving into the timing zone and install the remaining components and hopefully the timing belt along with it. And I will talk to you soon in that one. Bye.